Hi everyone, it's Tasleem here, and I did it. I used the list that I created with you guys in my last video about how to shift away from the person that you're hung up on that you know is not right for you and move towards the person, but actually the relationship, how to bring in the relationship that you really want. I used it today and it is instantaneously powerful. So I was connecting with this guy for the last couple of weeks or so first through online dating, then we were texting, and he lives over on the island, and he was going to come over to Vancouver. He's lived here before, and he said he really wanted to meet me, and we had planned to meet sometime, but the day wasn't exactly solidified. And that's something that I really want, is someone that schedules, someone that really values my time. And I was very aware that when he told me yesterday morning that he was going to be here tomorrow, he had originally told me he was going to be here tomorrow, but we hadn't said where or if we were meeting for sure. But yesterday he said, why don't we meet at this jazz place that he knew that I've been wanting to go to for a while. So it was supposed to be an afternoon thing, and I said sure, like I really want to go there, but I said I was a little confused because like I hadn't heard from you and it's already the day before. So in my mind I did compute that this wasn't my ideal situation, because I want someone who plans things ahead of time. And I could already feel that I was making excuses for this person, because I'm like, well, they don't live here and they're making an effort to come out here. And but I was like, my subconscious kind of registered that, and my conscious now is starting to be aware. And so the plan was for us to meet at this jazz thing. So I had made plans to come out to it, and either way, I was like, whether he's able to come or not, I'm going to be there. But this morning he told me that he was running late and he might not be able to make it to the early afternoon thing, but can we do dinner or lunch later? Lunch or dinner later. And I thought about my list that I created with you guys. And I was like, I want someone who I can build something, there's like potential to build something with. I want someone who schedules things beforehand. I want someone who honors my time and doesn't just make me wait around for them. Remember on my list that I shared with you guys, I don't want someone who makes me wait or doubt things between us. I haven't even met this person yet, so I'm not going to do sporadic meetups. And I also, one thing that was really important to me is I don't want to fall for the love bomber anymore. Like someone who, even if they don't mean this in a manipulative way, but they're being really flattering and convincing themselves that I could be the one that is worth coming out here and this could be something. But they haven't met me yet, so they're not making that, that view is not coming from knowing me. It's just what they fantasize in their head, and I'm not falling for the fantasy anymore. I want someone who wants something real, who takes time to get to know me. So when he told me that he was not able to meet up and what about dinner, I immediately, I thought about it. I thought about my list that I created with you guys. I thought about what I'm committed to, the relationship of my dreams, not a person that I have in my dreams. I'm not going to be selective about the person. I'm going to be selective about what the relationship looks and feels like. And I'm like, it's already started out on the wrong foot, and I deserve way more than this. So I said to him, no, that won't work for me. It doesn't make me feel good to do things sporadically, and I'm actually looking for someone who is local, that is not a long distance thing. And I'm realizing this whole thing is not really going to work out for me. And he immediately wrote back and said, oh, and he was like sad face, crying face. And then suddenly told me he was coming out here specifically for me, when he originally told me he was coming out to visit some friends in his old neighborhood anyway. And I was like, okay, now his actions and words aren't aligning with each other. I could convince myself that I'm flattered that he, you know, tried to pretend that he was coming here to see other people and it was just specifically for me. But I'm like, why? I'm not going to doubt my worth. I know I'm worthy of someone coming to visit me from far away, but I want that person to do it because they actually know me, because they feel they've taken the time to get to know me. If he's doing it for me and he doesn't know me, he could be doing it for anybody. And I was like, no, I don't want to fall into that. So I got to the jazz place that we were going to meet at. There weren't a lot of people in there, so I started doing my own thing and just enjoying my day. And honestly, as soon as I said no to this guy, like the person who was driving me, like the transit that I was taking, the driver was so amazing with me. He was like, we were really hitting it off, and I felt instant like energy, synchronicity with that guy, like more alignment with what I'm looking for. And I'm not even talking like, oh, I was thinking that this could be a potential romantic thing. I was just like, the universe is giving me a high five right now, saying, yes, you're sticking to your list. You're sticking to what you created last night, what you advised your YouTuber audience to do, and it's working. And we just want to give you proof, and I feel it. And then I decided to go to this dollar shop that I really like nearby, and I was doing my own little dollar shop shopping that I love, picking things out for my niece whose birthday just went by. And I decided that I was going to sit at this little, I'm right outside this little Mexican grocery store that I really like, and get my favorite, they're not cassava chips, they're plantain chips. And I'm sitting outside on the patio and I'm having such a great time, feeling this energy that I have shifted the momentum from my old patterns of going with someone that gives me a little bit of attention but not quite what I want and what I really desire, and I'm shifting into momentum towards what I really want, and it feels so good. And I, even as I was sitting outside on this little chair and table deck, there have been 4 guys, 2 that have come out of this store that have smiled at me, and then we ended up waving at each other. Another one with his little daughter who was like smiling at me a lot, and then yeah, the energy was like so good. And again, it doesn't matter that I don't meet the people or that they're, who knows what their situation is, but I felt the universe saying, you are right on track. Your momentum has shifted. I talked a lot about, or a little bit about Abraham Hicks in my last video. Another thing that Abraham Hicks says about alignment and aligning to what you really want, your true desires, is that people use the excuse. So people misuse momentum when it can be used in a really powerful way. So what I mean by momentum is something is continuing in the direction that you want it to go, and you don't have to put in so much effort because the momentum has already begun. Abraham Hicks says that oftentimes the reason that we don't get what we desire is because we use the excuse of the momentum that was created from before. So we don't realize that we have created a momentum in the direction that we don't want to go. We have created a momentum towards someone, something, a dynamic, a relationship patterning from the past that does not serve us, that is actually unhealthy. Sometimes we call it love when it's not even love. And we have created a momentum there because that person, that dynamic, that habit, we have fallen into consistency there. Like we decided, okay, we had an instant attraction to this person, so then we put a lot of time into them, and then even though they weren't giving us what we needed, we spent more time with them, we thought about them, we daydreamed about them, we waited for them to call us, we waited for them to say that they want to be with us the same way that we want to be with them. And so much momentum has been put in the direction that we intuitively inside know is actually not good for us. And we use that as an excuse not to shift that momentum to a direction that we want to actually go, to a direction that is really actually healthier for us. So it is our excuse to use momentum as the reason that we don't be deliberate about what we go after. In the exercise that I shared with you last time, the last two videos, part 1 and part 2 of shifting into what you really want, the relationship that is right for you, that was an exercise in changing your momentum to work for you in the direction of something that actually is good for you, and to not use the excuse that, oh well, but I put so much time and effort and investment and I love this person, that isn't right for me. Now we have to be deliberate about changing that if we want something different. And I want something different, and I just took the next step today in shifting the momentum so that it stops going in this direction, which is the negative, I don't deserve everything that I want, so let me settle for this guy who isn't really giving me everything that I want, and let me go with a long distance relationship that's going to be inconsistent, and the person doesn't really plan, but I can make excuses for them because they're really trying and they live far and that must be so hard. And no, I just shifted that old patterning to start the momentum going this way towards the guy that is going to plan, the guy that is going to be around in my neighborhood or close to me or make himself available readily, the guy that is going to understand that he needs to get to know me before saying all these loving, beautiful things to me, because I want someone to say them to me, not for the fantasy in his head of who I am. And it's working. It works. Momentum is everything. And that can be detrimental to us, or we can make it deliberately work for us. Just like in dance, when you use momentum, if you're doing a movement, there are some people that look really effortless when they dance because they know how to use momentum. They know that once they start a movement and they have prepped it and they have their body in alignment and their partnership is connected, that momentum can keep that going in a way that feels and looks effortless to other people and for yourself. But you have to deliberately decide to do the things to set that up. And if you want to make a change in your dance, you have to be deliberate about changing the momentum to another direction. You have to decide to do it or feel doing it. It's the same in life and in relationships. If you are going in a direction that is no longer serving you, is no longer feeling effortless, it feels like so forced and you have to try so hard and you're trying to make this person see you the way that you want them to see you. That's full of effort. The momentum is not actually working in your favor. It's hindering you, it's exhausting, it's depleting. You can shift that. Look at the list. If you created it with me in the last video, if you haven't, go check out those videos. Create your own list of what you're committed to in a partnership, in a relationship, in the relationship of your dreams, not looking at a specific person and saying, that's the person of my dreams. You don't know if they are the person of your dreams. What your only responsibility is to decide what kind of relationship you want, what it's going to make you feel, and what you're really deserving of. And you pull that in, you draw that in, but you have to create a momentum that gets you in line, that gets you aligned with that dream relationship. And I'm telling you, it works. I feel it. There's nothing that's going to make me go back to saying yes to someone that is not showing up, like consistently wanting to know me. I'm not going to say yes to someone that doesn't live in the city and just wants to do a sporadic thing. It's just not going to happen. And every time I say no to those people, I am saying yes to the right relationship, the right person, the right dynamic for me, what I know really that I deserve. And my momentum has shifted. Once you shift your momentum, you can never go back unless you purposely block that momentum. And I'm not going to block it. I am opening it up. I'm blocking the old momentum and I'm moving towards the new one, and I'm so excited. Let me know if you're using your list, how it's going for you. I love this stuff. It really, really works.